Hi everyone, welcome to Vijay Studies. Today our topic Database Management System DBMS. Let's see what is data. What is data? Data means known facts. The data is either in text, graphic images, sound, videos, etc. Data means known facts, and that the data is in any format like text, graphic images, sound, videos, etc. And what is database? What is database? Database is a collection of interrelated data. Database is a collection of interrelated data, collection of interrelated data. For example, database, for example, database for educational institutions or a bank, library, etc. Maximum the organizations or educational institutions, banks, railway reservation, all these have to maintain the database to store the information. And now, what is database management system? Database management system, DBMS. DBMS is a software or collection of programs that enables the user to create and maintain the database. To create and maintain the database. DBMS, Database Management System, is a software or collection of programs that enables the user to create and maintain the database. And before using DBMS, we have to use the file system, and that file system also called as conventional file processing system, and this file system is used to store the data. And why we are using DBMS? Before using DBMS, we have to use file system to store the data, and this file system also called as conventional file processing system. In the file system, the data is stored in different files. Data is stored in different files in the form of records. File system also called as conventional file processing system. In this, the data is stored in different files in the form of records, and in this the programs are written time to time as per the requirement to manipulate the data. So in the file system, we have to write programs. So based on our requirement to perform the task on the data. Based on our requirement, we have to write many programs. And this is also one disadvantage in the file system. To overcome the drawbacks in the file system, we have to use the DBMS to store the data. And the drawbacks or disadvantages of file system. Disadvantages of file system or drawbacks of file system. So first one is data redundancy and inconsistency. Data redundancy and inconsistency. Data redundancy also called as data duplication. Data redundancy also called as data duplication. Data redundancy. Data redundancy means keeping the same data at multiple locations. At multiple locations is called data redundancy. Keeping the same data at multiple locations is called data redundancy. For example, X salary is 50,000. This is the data. If we place at two or more locations, and this is called redundant data, and this is data redundancy. Maintain or keeping the same data at multiple locations is called data redundancy. Data inconsistency. If data contains redundant data, if data contains redundant data and updation of data at one location, then the data at another location is not updated, then this situation is called data inconsistency. If data contains redundant data and updation of data at one location, then the data at another location is not updated, then this is called the data inconsistency. For example, a person name is X and his salary is 50,000 and it is located at multiple locations. More than one location, X is 50,000 and this data is located at more than one location, and if we update data at one location, then the another location is not updated. This is called the data inconsistency. And the next disadvantage is difficulty in accessing data. Difficulty in accessing data. Difficulty in accessing data means every time to write we need to write new program to perform new task. So in the file system, if we want to perform any operation, every time we have to need or write a new program. In the file system, if we want to access any data or if we want to perform any operation on the database or any operation on the data, we need to write a new program. And the next one is data isolation. Data isolation. So next disadvantage, data isolation. Data isolation is data is scattered in various files. The data is scattered in various files in different formats. Every time we need to write new program to retrieve the appropriate data. Data isolation means data is scattered in various files. The data is stored at different files in different formats. Every time we need to write a program to retrieve the appropriate data from the different files. That is data isolation. And the next one is concurrent access anomalies. So the next drawback, concurrent access anomalies. So the next drawback is concurrent access anomalies. That is if the system allow the multiple users if the system allow the multiple users to access simultaneously, if the system allow the multiple users to access simultaneously, the concurrent updates may result in inconsistent data. If the system allow the multiple users to access simultaneously, to improve the system performance, the system has to allow multiple users to work at same time. So if suppose it allows the multiple users to access simultaneously, the concurrent updates may result the inconsistent data. And the next one is security problems. So the next drawback is security problem. Security problem. And the next disadvantage of file system, security problem. Not every user of the database system of the database system should be able to access all the data. Not every user of the database system should be able to access all the data. The next drawback, integrity constraints problem. Integrity constraints problem. Constraints are nothing but a condition. The the data values stored in the database must satisfy certain types of consistency constraints. So the data, whatever data stored in the database must satisfy all the types of consistency constraints, whatever conditions we have to impose on the data. So that data must be satisfy all that conditions or constraints. Thank you.